Welcome to Advantage Leadership Coaching's program, Resilient Leadership Despite Crisis, Chaos, and Constant Change. Our workforce faces a period of prolonged burnout after nearly a year of adjusting to difficult new realities. This impacts everyone, from frontline employees to executives. How can people who are themselves burnt out be the ones who solve burnout? Would you like to know how to remain resilient in your leadership as you guide your organization through the COVID-19 pandemic or other crises? Would you like to learn specific steps that can reduce the negative impact of constant change and enable your organization to emerge stronger? Well, if you answered yes, then you're in the right place. I'm Barbara Jordan, and I'm a women's leadership coach who helps aspiring women break through their glass ceiling by developing courage, confidence, and credibility. As an executive recovery coach, I help executives and other high-income, high-profile leaders enjoy successful recovery from alcohol, drugs, and other addiction. Please be sure to watch this entire video because I will be offering some special discounts. If you stay to the end, I will reward you with some great offers. Feelings of stress related to COVID-19 are all around us and a normal reaction to a pandemic. Almost half of the adults in the United States have reported that COVID-19 has negatively infected or affected their psychological health. The current health crisis has challenged and continues to challenge all leaders' ability to adapt and change. There's no rule book or roadmap here, but the key to helping your team come out of this successfully is resilience. The study of resilience suggests that it can be learned and enhanced by changing your environment, paying attention to good self-care, learning rational thinking skills and emotional regulation, and staying connected socially. In many, if not most businesses, the first challenge that leaders have had to face in relation to their teams is remote working. And this has become the new normal. If we had deliberately designed it as a new business strategy, there would have been weeks of preparation, trial periods, and systems to establish and check, training for staff on how to adjust to the new teleworking processes. But this didn't happen, and many people found themselves waking up one morning to discover that the office was closed. So as business leader looking after a remote team, your role is to help everyone come out of this with the best chance of having a happy, productive, motivated team ready to face these new challenges. With the world changing faster than ever before, creating a culture of resilience will ensure that your organization thrives. Employees' emotions are heightened due to uncertainty of how long this pandemic will last. Another great challenge management faces is being able to find a balance between being empathetic and authoritative. In addition, we're haphazardly trying to learn the necessary skills to lead our newly remote team. COVID-19 is a global pandemic. It's unsettling, to say the least, especially for the many people who never before experienced such a major crisis. The amount of change it has introduced us to all at once is staggering. Bans or limits on travel, live events and in-person gatherings, having to communicate with coworkers and clients via text, email, phone, or video chat, whereas we were accustomed to up-close, live, in-person interaction. Having to wear masks, maintain 6 feet of physical distancing, and cancel regular on-site meetings to avoid the spread of illness. Tighter air traffic safety guidelines, and having to cancel travel plans maybe altogether. Strict hotel safety guidelines, forced closure of schools, daycare facilities, churches, and several businesses. Working from home was fun at first, but came with telework disruptions like poor internet connection, distractions at work, and the challenge of learning how to navigate virtual tools. And then there are the technical difficulties. Social isolation and lack of networking opportunities. We used to be able to connect, communicate, and learn face to face, but now we can only meet or learn via virtual webinars, online articles, videos, and podcasts. Would you agree that stress is at an all-time high? Leadership resilience is a key coping skill that'll get us through all of this, and the good news, it can be learned and applied to yourself, your business, and your families. Resilience, the ability to adapt in the face of challenging circumstances, is a critical characteristic of high-performing leaders. Resilient leaders have the ability to cope with disruption, like changes in direction and adversity, without engaging in dysfunctional behavior. They have the ability to adapt under intense pressure while maintaining their high energy. Resilient leaders continue to instill confidence in their employees and customers. We must remember that we have to lead ourselves before leading others. So the focus of this presentation is on the psychology behind leadership resilience. Today you're going to get the following benefits of this training. Learn what it takes to be a resilient leader, develop and practice self-care for resilient leadership, gain self-awareness so you increase your strength to grow through adversity, not just go through it. Get support to remain resilient despite constant change, chaos, and crisis. Coaching strategies you can use to avoid burnout on your team. Resilient leadership. Here are some of the learning objectives today. Understand what resiliency is. Identify what threatens our resilience. Recognize factors which enhance resilience. Use strategies to build it. The COVID-19 pandemic presents a number of psychological health challenges, many of which disproportionately affect leaders. These include social, emotional, and behavioral or physical consequences. Social consequences of the current health crises include social isolation and loneliness. Social distancing, COVID restrictions lead to isolation, loneliness, and loss of support. But loneliness in leaders during this time is also caused by limited social skills, limited access to socialization for the sake of socializing, negative, non-supporting, unhealthy, disempowering thoughts and beliefs regarding social situations. Emotional consequences. The fear of contagion, worry, and uncertainty related to health problems or getting the pandemic, getting ill. Economic insecurity, loss of control, and disruption in routines. Discomfort due to fewer opportunities for deriving play, fun, and pleasure. Depression, hopelessness, and prolonged stress and anxiety. Substance abuse disorders. Given these consequences, it's important that we connect to others and socialize. No matter how difficult it may seem, maintain contact with others. Don't isolate your support network. For those at the top of an organization, it can be trickier to find someone to confide in. Team members expect that we listen but not vent. So look outside the company for a venter. Maybe an old colleague, friends and family, or use other leaders or HR in some way. Having someone who is trustworthy and cares about you is far more important than having someone who may have the technical knowledge or other suggestions. Most leaders have significant resilience and can cope well due to years of life experience. However, if you don't manage your physical health successfully, the effects of COVID-19 may lead to new or worsening health problems. The most important thing to do at the moment is to keep well, keep fit, and stay healthy. So make sure you're getting enough exercise and fresh air, a decent night's sleep, and a great diet. If you become ill, this may seem obvious, but you can't do your job and then problems multiply. As time goes on through this crisis, your physical well-being could deteriorate. Don't let this happen to you. So the behavioral or physical consequences could include impaired sleep, poor nutrition, increased alcohol and other drug use, diminished physical activity, declining health due to behavioral changes, heightened stress and fear, and chronic pain and insomnia. Why is resiliency so important? We have the responsibility to direct and supervise employees who are carrying heavy workloads and experiencing personal challenges. This requires empathy. As leaders, we ourselves have been exposed to increased stress recently. Finding a helpful support network for ourselves is challenging. With the constant rapid change, unpredictability, insecurity, and instability, issues regarding employee retention, productivity, absenteeism, and illness are increasing. Why is effective leadership more important now than ever before? Well, when things are uncertain, effective leaders are able to remain calm and maintain a positive outlook. Roles and responsibilities from the front line to the boardroom are drastically different than they were pre-COVID-19. Previously, leaders were focused on innovation, driving revenue, and gaining market share. But today, these same leaders are faced with having to make quick decisions, and especially on cost control. They're facing unforeseen challenges like supply chain issues, running skeleton crews, and working from home. Effective leaders are navigating all of this change while still leading their staff who are navigating their own health and safety concerns, caring for family, and dealing with the fear of the unknown. During times of crisis, employees turn to their leadership team to set the tone and drive a resilient culture. For some, it can be a learning curve, although self-care is critical for us during quarantine. But leaders also need to invest in their own professional skills as well. But on the bright side, I know I've painted quite a bleak picture. Even though hotels, restaurants, and theme parks have closed, although flights and cruises have canceled, many businesses are not just surviving, but thriving and flourishing. Catering and food delivery businesses, for example, manufacturers of packaged goods, Zoom, Asana, and other distance communication technology companies are booming. Disruption often brings opportunity. More than half of Dow companies evolved from recessions. We just need to lead people in pivoting and redefining their businesses. There are several positive effects of this pandemic. Just think about it. Families are sitting down to wholesome, home-cooked meals together. Lifestyles have slowed down and quality time is more prevalent. You see parents sitting down with their children doing special play or helping them with their homework. Out of necessity, yes, but it is a positive effect. All of these things are good. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. I'll say that again. Every action has an opposite and equal reaction. So despite all that negativity, this pandemic has provided us some positive change. Every new problem has a solution. We just need to find it. Our nation has been through crises before. For example, throughout time we survived the smallpox, yellow fever, West Nile virus, SARS, 9/11, 1987 and the 2008 economic crashes, Y2K. Since life as we know it is coming to an end, we may have a lot of fear, uncertainty, and anxiety. But despite the common worries and unpredictability and uncertainty, this too shall pass. The world is looking for leaders to lead us in a positive direction. Everyone is watching you. Leaders are, by definition, ordinary people taking extraordinary actions in the face of adversity. People like Lincoln, Washington, FDR, and all the great war generals have risen above crisis, chaos, and constant change, and you can too. In the full-length program, Resilient Leaders Despite Constant Change, Crisis, and Chaos, I will show you how to address the fears, worries, and anxiety of your team, communicate what you're going to do to address those worries and anxiety, and rather than avoid or ignore or minimize those negative emotions, how to use your authority to give your people certainty, clarity, hope, and simplicity. Leader empathy, while necessary, makes us more vulnerable to secondary stress. Because of heavy workloads and understaffing, you often have insufficient time to recover. You supervise people who are feeling vulnerable, and this can trigger your own stress. As leaders, we often feel the need to be strong. Sharing our pain with others may be viewed as less than professional, less competent, or even weak. Okay, now we're going to take a moment to pause and think about and write down how you can apply the last few slides. So I'd really like you to take the time to actually write down 2 things that you've learned, 2 lessons based on the impact of COVID-19 and other crises, ways in which you can learn from the last 3 slides. What can you do? Actionable steps you can take to apply the concepts. I'm going to give you about 15 to 30 seconds to pause and write that down. All right, moving on. What is resilience? Resilience is the ability an individual, a group, or an organization, or an entire population to rapidly and effectively rebound from psychological and behavioral incidents associated with critical events, terrorism, and even mass disasters. Effective leaders are resilient, and resilience is more than just bouncing back and recovering quickly from setbacks. It's more than managing stress and knowing how to cope when overwhelmed. True resilience means staying focused, staying on task, having a purpose, and having the strength to weather the storm, and future storms for that matter. To learn more about resilience, check out Sandy Ash, TEDx speaker, and best-selling author's free webinar, Staying Resilient and Thriving in Uncertain Times. Man's Search for Meaning is a 1946 book by Viktor Frankl, Austrian neurologist and psychiatrist. He documented his experience as an Auschwitz concentration camp inmate during World War II. He embodied the ultimate in resilience. Frankl discovered that Nazis couldn't take away almost everything from him, but they couldn't take away his ability to make choices in all circumstances based on his values and vision. There's no one accepted definition of resilience, but all involve the process of adapting to and bouncing back from adversity. So what does resilience mean to you? What threatens our resilience? Loss of physical or psychological wholeness, significant person roles or relationships, head of family or community leader role, intact family unit, homes, or community, a way of life and economic livelihood, future potential, for example, with loss of children, hopes and dreams for what might have been, security, predictability, or trust. These are things that threaten our resilience. Professional quality of life scale. If you complete the scale by visiting our homepage, AdvantageLeadershipCoaching.com, you'll find a link 2/3 of the way down the homepage of our website, AdvantageLeadershipCoaching.com. Or you can copy and paste this link that is on this slide into your browser box and locate the assessment. What I'd like you to do is go ahead and complete the individual assessment. I'm again going to pause for a minute so you can complete the assessment. And moving on, our Resilient Leadership Survey had asked questions of leaders, and these were the questions that we asked. What is the key to being immune to stress? What is the key to bouncing back from excessive stress? What is your greatest strength or key to success? And what makes people vulnerable to excessive stress? Here are the answers to our Resilient Leadership Survey. Starting with question 1, what is the key to being immune to stress? Positive attitude, training, healthy lifestyle, having an outlet or hobby, and a support network. A positive attitude isn't having the everything will be fine kind of position against evidence. That would be counterproductive, unrealistic. But what can we do? An attitude like that would really help. Noticing what is good, counting blessings, finding silver linings, however trite, is proven to make a psychological difference to our capacity to cope. What's good about this whole COVID thing, I already mentioned in a previous slide earlier, well, we're spending time together within our families, slowing down, staying home more often. We are expanding our service array to telehealth through virtual technology. We're spending less money on frivolous things, and we are more conscientious of cleanliness. Those are all good things, despite the adversity that the pandemic has brought to us. Ask yourself, what were 3 good things that happened today at the end of each evening, and sleep on that instead of the worries that all of this uncertainty might bring. Here are some more results of our Resilient Leadership Survey. The answers to number 3 that our audience gave us, what is the key to bouncing back from excessive stress? Positive attitude, having an outlet, support network, healthy lifestyle, removal from stressful situations. And number 3, the answers to what is your greatest strength or key to success? Work ethic, tenacity, positive attitude, strong values, and adaptability. And answers to number 4, our audience answered lack of perspective, tenacity or preparation, negative attitude, no outlets, isolation. Those were the traits that what leaders thought made them vulnerable to excessive stress. Do you have any of these traits? And how about leaders you know or those around you? So now what? How can you apply this? I would like you to stop and pause and answer the question, what are 2 ideas from the last 4 slides that you can apply on the job or in your personal life? 2 lessons based on the needs identified on the ProQual assessment and our leadership survey. Specify 2 actions that you can take. And I'll pause again for 15 to 30 seconds so you can write those down. Now don't resist writing them down. That's what makes this training unique and makes it sustainable, and what makes the information or the knowledge stay or stick. Gotta write some actionable steps down. Okay, and moving on. Protective factors that build resilience. The most important protective factor appears to be having a strong bond with a supportive person, like a parent, teacher, or other mentor. Resilient people tend to meet the world on their own terms. They were autonomous and independent, reflective rather than impulsive, and they seek out new experiences. They have a positive social orientation. You use whatever skills they have effectively, and they have an internal locus of control, meaning that is they who provides their success, they who creates their success. They believe that they and not their circumstances affect their achievements. Conclusions from the research. We are all naturally resilient to varying degrees. Stress is all around us and even necessary for growth. Responding to stress is built into our genes and as biological organisms. Although the formula for resilience can be somewhat different for differing individuals. It is more what you do than what you are. People who are resilient don't wear down as fast as less resilient people, and they recover more quickly. Successful adaptation is possible as long as the protective factors outweigh the risk factors. Even most resilient persons will develop problems when faced with overwhelming risk factors. Efforts at intervention should be directed at altering the balance by increasing protective factors and decreasing risk factors. The presence of individual protective factors can keep someone from developing stress-related illness. How does coaching enhance leaders' resilience? I encourage clients to limit exposure to traditional and social media coverage of COVID-19 and related developments. For example, daily economic and political developments. Overconsumption of news related to COVID-19 increases the focus on the pandemic and heightens the body's stress response system. Your nervousness, your anxiety, worries. I help people in the face of crises, chaos, and constant change maintain a positive attitude and an optimistic outlook, incorporating humor whenever possible. Modeling optimism can help instill hope. When possible during interactions, I use humor, which has been shown to prevent and relieve stress and stimulate positive changes in the body. I encourage and support involvement in pleasurable and meaningful activities and self-care. Encouraging and helping to identify and plan even small activities that provide pleasure or meaning can help leaders engage in and derive satisfaction from positive activities. Using activity lists and developing any activity schedule or plan can be helpful too. I usually follow up on these experiences in subsequent sessions to encourage follow-through. I help solve challenges and simplify a person's lifestyle. As we get older, some tasks require more mental effort and our sense of control often diminishes, even outside of the pandemic situation. This can cause some leaders to easily feel overwhelmed. In this case, I help them simplify decisions and their environment whenever possible. I elicit ideas to enable leaders to help and support others in their lives. Providing opportunities to help another person can increase one's confidence and sense of belonging and purpose, as well as strengthen the interpersonal connection. This is especially the case when we reach later adulthood, when giving back is a frequent major source of purpose, direction, and meaning. So now what? How can you apply this? If you could apply everything that you've learned in this program, this would be the place to do it. Changes in practice behavior are often small after training, unless you take steps to continue to acquire, maintain, and personalize the skills learned. Incorporate these skills into your individual leadership development plan. So let's take a moment to write down the following. One thing you learned, one thing you already knew but were reminded, and two things you will need to work on specifically. So looking back to each of those slides where we wrote down 2 action steps you can take based on the principles learned, take 2 or 3 of those ideas and plant them in here. Now the formula that I have here, by blank, I will blank as indicated by blank, forces you to specify measurable goals that are realistic and actionable. So once you have written down at least 2 of those things, maybe even 3, email me at the address on this slide, advantedgegreenbay@gmail.com, and I will send it back to you in 3 months to assess your progress and hold you accountable. If you liked this presentation, you may like my leadership book entitled Leadership Success in Spite of Stress. If you're burned out working long hours, trying to meet tight deadlines, and juggling family obligations without time to exercise, eat, sleep well, or reflect, Leadership Success in Spite of Stress will help you stay on top of it all. Offering my 20+ years of experience coaching business leaders struggling with demanding work schedules, it'll help you seek balance for a fulfilling personal life and successful career. This book is designed to help you break through your own glass ceiling and meet your leadership goals. It takes you through a series of solution-oriented questions designed to clearly define what it is you want and how to get it. The questions also help you identify when, where, and with whom you were successful in the past so you can do more of what worked and less of what doesn't. The hands-on, practical information and self-assessment exercises in this book show you how to improve your productivity, save your time, honor your values and priorities, develop business savvy, delegate, and improve relationships at work and at home. It'll also help you overcome perfectionism and increase your assertiveness. This book provides checklists that help you identify negative thinking habits and challenge those non-supportive, disempowering, self-defeating beliefs sabotaging your success. It helps you get out of your own way and finally take your foot off the brakes so you can allow yourself to be successful and meet those long sought-after goals that seem beyond your reach. Let me ask you this, please. Are you stressed to the gills with all this COVID stuff? Are you burned out from all the Zoom meetings, computer, phone, and email transactions? Virtual meeting after virtual meeting? Are you exhausted from all the constant rapid change and the ambiguity, uncertainty, and security of it all? Or maybe you're just feeling so overwhelmed and exhausted you can't answer no matter what I ask. Well, our Fire 'em Up Without Burning Out training program will teach you to delegate more, stop micromanaging, and structure, organize, and control your work and time instead of letting it control you. How does that sound? Fire 'em Up Without Burning Out is designed to give you powerful tools to help you distinguish the important from the urgent, prioritize your tasks, and use stress to enhance performance, not hinder it. As a result of this training, you decrease stress and increase productivity because you'll be much more relaxed, confident, and composed. Sound like something you'd like? If you'd like to improve your resilience among all the chaos, crisis, and constant change, but you're paralyzed by fear, doubt, and insecurity, and if you're looking to create true connection, but it feels way too hard to achieve it, then this training will work for you because I've spent months refining a formula that can help you change. This formula can help you improve your business decisions. It has helped hundreds of our students create more success in their lives, and I know it can do the same for you. With COVID-19 and the economy being uncertain, a lot of people are deciding to stay put and wait until it's all over. But the longer you remain in a state of inaction, the deeper your fear, doubts, and worries become, and the harder it is to change. So my question to you is, if not now, then when? The cost of using or losing a leader can be as much as their annual salary. And for this region, that's about 80 to 100,000, right? Add to that the 3 to 5% it takes to bring that person up to speed, onboarding or orienting them. But the cost of this training is a tiny fraction of that. Most companies are paying $1,000 for a full-length live training program like this sample program I've provided here. Since this is a virtual online training and we can avoid travel, hotel, and other costs, we normally provide the course for $700. That's almost 1/3 the investment of our live in-person program. But to reward you for staying to the end of this video, I'm going to provide this content-rich, transformational program for only $150. I know that's crazy, but we're in a crazy time right now. All you need to do is click the Add to Cart button right below this video. This type of crisis is new for all of us. It's something we're all experiencing together. There's a lot of uncertainty, fear, and panic. And there's a lot of speculation. But here's the thing. Even though we have a lot of unknowns right now, you have a choice. You can show up with fear and panic, or you can be the light in a dark situation. You can lead in a positive manner or in a negative one. Your employees are watching you. They are looking for positive, resilient role models. How you show up today and every day from now on is entirely up to you. Do you ignore what's happening? No, you want to stay informed, right? Do you stick your head in the sand and wait until you can make the perfect move? No, you want to act decisively. You don't need to let it immobilize, exhaust, or consume you. You have the opportunity to practice the skills I share in this sample program right now. The full-length course is like the playbook for getting through times of crisis. It shows you how to gain the trust of your followers by providing them certainty, hope, and clarity. It'll help you practice acting in spite of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, instead of being paralyzed by it. It'll help you remain calm, content, and composed even when things aren't ideal. You have a true opportunity in the light of a crazy situation to show up as your best self or your worst self. The choice is yours. Yes, today things are crazy with the virus. There's turmoil in the market, but once this passes, which eventually it will, you'll have learned some deep lessons from it. This full-length training, Fire 'em Up Without Burning Out, offers tons of great learning for you. It will give you information to help your mindset and your leadership skill set. Our goal is to make sure that when this ends, you skyrocket to the top instead of spiraling down. Check out my other training videos listed here, which could not have come at a better time. Many of you are home, not working, or working from home, so this training is perfect timing for you. Again, most companies are paying $1,000 for a full-length live program like this one I've provided here. Since this is a virtual online training and we can avoid travel, hotel, and other costs, we normally provide the course for only $700. That's almost a third of the investment of the live in-person program. But to reward you for staying to the end, I'm going to provide this content-rich, transformational online course for only $150. Just click on the Add to Cart button below and you're there. Here are our leadership development self-hypnosis audiobooks, more of our products at AdvantageLeadershipCoaching.com. Whatever you habitually say to yourself, even though it may be false, sinks down into your deep inner mind as true. And this creates your actions, experiences, and results. Once your deep subconscious mind accepts something, it executes it. Even so, if you've conveyed negative beliefs to your deep inner mind, you can change them by relaxing, visualizing positive outcomes, and listening to positive constructive affirmations. What's most exciting is you can reprogram your deep inner mind and access 100% of your brain's power to learn anything quickly and easily. These recordings use advanced human performance technologies. We combine the powerful technologies of neuro-linguistic programming, NLP, and whole brain learning. What makes our recordings unique? Number one, they focus not just on the specific skills referred to in each title, they also target the thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, assumptions, and conclusions critical to effective leadership. And two, each title includes 2 tracks. You get 2 recordings for the price of 1. Track 1, Bedtime Bliss, relaxes you with ambient music, soothing nature sounds, and vocals. Track 2, Start Your Day in a Positive Way, is designed to be listened to immediately as you awaken, to reinforce the concepts learned in Track 1. It is designed to maintain your goals when you listen to the recording as you drive, exercise, or conduct your everyday activities. You can have all the best leadership tools, all the latest and greatest research at your fingertips, but if you have a weak toolbox, in other words, self-defeating mindset, all the tools in the world aren't going to bring you success. If you haven't been successful after attending training, paying expensive coaches or consultants, these recordings will help you overcome the negative or self-limiting beliefs blocking your progress. Because I believe leadership is developed from the inside out, our training and coaching incorporates several self-assessments while identifying and challenging each of your negative, self-limiting, disempowering thoughts and beliefs. Not just teaching you skill sets. Advantage Leadership Coaching and Training programs also provide students and clients plenty of opportunities to practice the skills learned. Unlike other self-proclaimed gurus, I address the inner game of leadership. You may ask, the what game? Yes, I said the inner game. My clients and trainees start by taking a DISC, Strengths Finder, and Leadership Practices Inventory, a 360 of feedback assessment. We then create an individualized development plan based on the results of those assessments. These and other tools listed here will continue to support and reinforce your learning. What you see on this slide are some great deals, but I can only offer them for the next 5 days. After that, it's back to the normal investment. As promised earlier, I'm going to reward you for staying to the end of this video by making these awesome offers to you so that every one of you can benefit from this transformational program. If you enroll right now, I'm going to give you the entire full-length online course, not for the live tuition of $2,000 or even the normal online tuition of $700, but for only $150. So we have Leadership Success in Spite of Stress book, normally $35. It's $10 for the next 5 days. Normally, Leadership Development Self-Hypnosis audiobooks are $30, but for the next 5 days, your investment is only $9. The book and 2 Leadership Development Self-Hypnosis audiobooks are normally $95, but for the next 5 days, I'm slashing them for $25, down to $25. And coaching, monthly coaching fees are typically $800 a month for our in-person or virtual resilient leadership coaching. Today, only $400 and for the next 5 days. And again, we offer a full 30-day money-back guarantee for every one of our training programs. And that's to make sure there is absolutely no risk to you. That means you can experience the training programs, do all the online course exercises with me, and if you're not completely satisfied with the lessons you're learning, the changes you're making, the results you're getting, just let me know and we'll refund every penny of your tuition. Advantage Leadership Coaching and Advantage Recovery Coaching both have podcasts. The Leaders in Recovery is Advantage Recovery Coaching's podcast. Have you ever wondered how you can stay in recovery for good? Would you like to know how to overcome the obstacles to achieving long-term sobriety and get out of your own way? Well, that's exactly what you'll learn in this podcast. Hear how executive recovery coaching is helping executives and other high-profile leaders succeed and enjoy their recovery. This is cutting-edge recovery from the inside out. One of the most important parts of a leader's recovery is learning. This podcast is a perfect way to learn for even the busiest lifestyle. Episodes can be listened to in the comfort of your own home during your commutes or on the go any time that you need a little inspiration. Remember, people in recovery can't do it alone. Life doesn't have to end after you quit. And recovery is possible. With the Leaders in Recovery podcast, you can do it. If you'd like to learn brief leadership lessons in a convenient format, Leadership Success Soundbites is our second podcast. These leadership podcasts are a perfect way to learn for even the busiest schedule. You can listen to each episode at home, during commutes, on the go, anytime that you need a little information to help you make decisions. Cutting-edge leadership coaching from the inside out. It provides more than just skill sets, but mindsets too. Going beyond information to transformation. Better leaders, better decisions, better results. We help you develop the skills you need as an effective decision maker. When it comes to your livelihood, the lives of your employees, and your reputation, making the best decision is vital. That's where Success Soundbites comes in. That concludes our program today. I hope that you enjoyed this program and learned a lot of information. I'm so happy to be working with you, and I'm excited. I anticipate you and hope to see you on the other side and working with you. Have a great day.